Good morning, y'all. Welcome to the 2020 travel year in review. Some people might ask, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this now? Well, there's several reasons. One, we've had a spurt of new subscribers recently. And so a lot of these folks are coming on and saying, well, who's this big fat guy with bald-headed fat guy with oxygen in his nose? What does he know about cruising? Well, so I thought I'd do a review because there were some good things about last year. And of course, there were some bad things. And share both of those with you this morning. Feel free to drop any comments you want in the chat box. I'll get over there before we're done, as I try to do usually. But basically, you know, I've been involved in cruising since the late 70s when I went on my first cruise ship, and I've steadily cruised since then. I don't know, several years ago, I started doing a travel and cruise industry news show. Then last year, after I did an interview with my friend Pete Hall in London, I joined the Cruise Amigos, which was Pete in London and John Reitmeyer up in Minnesota and myself, and we interviewed a lot of folks. And when we started off the year last year, in 2020, it started off great for me. In January of 2020, I went out to Louisville to see my son Jason and my grandkids. I drove out there. I spent 3 or 4 days in Louisville. I don't remember now how many days it was, and came back. And then in February, I went on back-to-back cruises on the Zuiderdam and the Sunrise. And at that point, I had 6 additional cruises booked, including 2 that were actually in the fall of this year in Europe. So we started off the year with the Zuiderdam. The Zuiderdam was the first time that I had been on Holland America. I've been over the years primarily a Carnival guy, only because I started with Carnival. Then in 2019, I went on Norwegian for my first time, and I liked that a lot, and decided to try Holland America this time, only because one of my Facebook friends down in Florida had been on a couple of Holland America ships and kept posting food that looked just scrumptious. So I booked the Zuiderdam, which was actually my first singles cruise. No, second singles cruise. The Norwegian was the singles cruise also. But the Zuiderdam, I rented a scooter because by then my mobility issues were not great. But I was able to get around the ship because all cruise ships today, or most of them, are pretty attuned to the needs of folks in the handicap space, accessible space, which I was. And of course, I like to spend a lot of time in the hot tub. And at that point, I would be in the hot tub several times during the day. Now, one of the other things, folks, that I did attempt to do while I was on the Zuiderdam was to keep everything in balance, keep my life totally in balance. So I had to balance, of course, my bourbon and my food intake. And of course, I wanted to make sure that I kept my vegetable level at a sufficient level. So I worked hard on keeping the vegetable level where it should be. That was on the Zuiderdam. And of course, that sailed out of Fort Lauderdale. And I got back into Fort Lauderdale and got off the boat and got a cab to go around the block and got on the other boat, which was the Carnival Sunrise. Now, if you remember, the Sunrise was a ship for just a few of our closest friends. It was the first remake and complete overhaul and rename of which Carnival had 3 ships that they were doing this to. but this was the Sunrise, and it was a huge, about 4,000 some people. Again, there, even though, as you'll see, this obviously this area is not great for handicapped people. The level around the pool and the hot tubs you could get to, and get to the restaurants that are on the pool deck. Obviously, if you're in a scooter or a wheelchair, you can't go up and down these steps, but you can go from level to level by the elevator, should that be your situation. So that was the Sunrise, and one of the things that I did discover on the Sunrise was, of course, the bonsai sushi, which on the Zuiderdam, there was actually some sushi every day in the buffet. And that was when buffets were the old-fashioned buffets, of course. On the Sunrise, I had to go to bonsai sushi, and I know you paid for what you ordered, a la carte. But it was good. It was really good. And of course, Carnival is just everyday, ordinary, normal, down to earth people like me and this fella at the bar. You'll notice that's his boxer shorts and a flamingo sport coat with a black 10-gallon cap. And that's the way he went to the pool. So that's the way the Carnival Sunrise went. I got back home from the back-to-back cruises in the last week of February, and guess what? Then came the pandemic. Then came COVID, and of course, I went into voluntary lockdown. There's 4 of us that live in my household. My sister and brother-in-law are 10 and 14 years older than me. My niece took it upon herself to take care of the 3 of us. So we did not have to go out. So we pretty much were totally locked down. Amanda did all of our shopping. The only things that any of the 3 of us went out of the house for, away from our property, was to, for doctor's appointments, where we had no choice on that. And that's the way the majority of 2020 went. We were on self-guided lockdown, following the rules and regulations on our safety as much as we could. Then, of course, the end of the year, my health went to hell. It was discovered that I had prostate cancer. It had metastasized and spread everywhere. I had 40 some places of prostate cancer throughout my body. I had prostate cancer in my lungs. I had prostate cancer in my chest. I had prostate cancer a whole lot of other places other than just my prostate. Started into chemo, and that carries over into 2021. At the end of 2020, when this was first discovered, my PSA, that's the prostate, I forget this, something antigen test, the PSA test, was at 481. And after my last chemo treatment, which was, gosh, I'm getting almost a couple months away from that now, 6-7 weeks ago, my prostate PSA test came back at 1. Now, I will never be completely cured of cancer. There's still one spot in my lung, which we're watching on a regular basis to see what that may or may not develop into. The design for my future is that Lupron shots will control the prostate cancer, and we will continue on as much as I can. Now, the drawbacks to all of this is that along the way that my COPD had a respiratory collapse, and I require oxygen now. Is that related to the cancer? We don't think so. We think that that's just a separate issue, but you never can tell. So I'm on oxygen 24/7, and it has to be the steady flow oxygen, which means it has to come out of a tank, as opposed to those nifty little carry bags they're so nice that you see people with all the time. Most of those are pulse flow oxygen, and my oxygen level is way too high to be able to get those. So I'm pretty much stuck with a tank. And through all of the prostate business, I've had a catheter, and that's my bladder just has not decided to come back to any degree of normalcy. So it looks like I'm probably going to be in a catheter for the rest of my days, however long or short they come from. So I went through during this time and had to cancel all the cruises that I had booked. I had a cruise booked in May to Alaska. I had a cruise booked to the Southern Caribbean. I had a cruise booked to the Panama Canal. I was going to LA because I wanted to take my cousin, who is a cancer survivor, out for sushi in LA before he went away to college. And none of that got done, of course, because we were shut down, locked down for the year up until we've all, of course, been vaccinated now, and now are starting out a little. Although, quite frankly, I still haven't been anywhere other than a doctor's. But then I've got the complication of dealing with the oxygen tank and the catheter, which I can strap a bag on my leg and go. I mean, that's not going to keep me from going places. But anyway, I was pretty much bummed out over the whole thing. One of the things that happened was the chemo totally destroyed my voice. So my regular live stream news show, Travel and Cruise Industry News, which was on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays at 11 o'clock, I had to cancel because I couldn't talk. I would also cough a lot. I still cough a lot because of the COPD. But obviously it's better, and I'm still testing how much my voice and my throat and my lungs will take as far as being alive and putting it under pressure. Now, I did a video this morning on a news story, and then I'm doing this live. So this is all part of a test, folks, on how much I'm going to be able to talk and so forth. The other thing that I did about the same time that I canceled my news show was I had to kind of resign from the Cruise Amigos because, again, then I couldn't talk, and out of arrogance or whatever, I hated the look of chemo hair, the look of oxygen, and I just think, man, that's just not the kind of image that I want to portray. So we get through up to now, and obviously I have not gone on any more trips yet. I was beginning to think I wasn't going to be able to. And then this week happened. And a couple things have happened this week that are worth noting and tie into this whole story. And that is, number one, I went to the urologist on Tuesday, and they approved me getting in the pool. There was some question at one time because of the catheter, if I could even get in the pool because of the possibility of water going the wrong way, if you get my drift. But they said, no, you have a saltwater pool. It's not in the middle of a public pool where you're going to have lots of germs and crap. So go for it. So I'm able to get in the pool now. Unfortunately, because I'm a sissy, the water's still pretty cold. I haven't gotten all the way in yet. I'm working it in stages. And then it's going to be in the 50s tonight and tomorrow. So it's going to get cold again. but I'll be back at it probably on Monday when it warms up nice, and I'll go out, try to get the fat body down in it also. I figured out how I can get by with my oxygen. I've got a 50-foot tube like this coming from my oxygen supplier, which will allow me to have the tank by the pool. I got a little pull cart. I have my tank outside and the long tube. I'll be able to get into the deep end and tread water and do some exercises and maybe do some walking in the shallow end and things that will help my mobility issues, plus give me a chance to get some much needed exercise. So that was Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, I had an appointment with my pulmonary folks. And one of the questions is, am I ever going to get away from the oxygen? And they said, it's possible. We're not going to say it's likely, but it's possible that if you get enough exercise and do enough things to get your lungs back in shape, that you can improve to the point that you wouldn't be requiring the oxygen. And I said, okay, so I guess I'll never be able to get on an airplane or a cruise ship because of the tank. And I says, oh, no, you contact your oxygen supplier, which in my case here in Lynchburg area is Lincare. You contact them and you work out your itinerary of the airline you need to go on from such and such a place to such and such a place, and ground transportation from such and such a place to the boat and the cruise line. And they will take care of making sure your oxygen needs are met at all those places. She said, they did that all the time. And I said, well, kiss my foot. So I found out that I still have the possibility of going on cruises in the future. She said, now you got to get your strength better than it is now, because I've lost, admittedly, lost a lot of strength. So now it gives me something to work forward and go forward again. So the other thing, last Sunday, I rejoined the Cruise Amigos, which Pete has left the Cruise Amigos and gone on his own. As many of you saw, a lot of the stuff he did from the Virtuoso on the first cruise of the Virtuoso. And Pete's doing just a bang-up job with what he's doing now. And so I joined John, who's our resident pot farmer up in Minnesota, and of course Martin, who's over there in London. So we still got the both sides of the pond covered. Martin's is our travel agent in the house, and I joined them. So I did the first show, and John kept saying, "Damn it, pull your hair back. We can't see your hat back. We can't see your eyes," because I was embarrassed of having chemo hair, and my forehead has grown tremendously. I used to have hair around here, and as you can see, that's still skin. This is fuzz coming back here, but this is it's up to here, man. There ain't no hair in there. Now it's getting, you can see in the back, it's getting, fuzzy. But so I decided, what the hell? You people know who I am. You know what I am. I'm going to quit with the hat. And if I look like a fat old bald guy, I look like a fat old bald guy. So this week on the Cruise Amigos on Sunday, it's at 2:00 my time, which you have to calculate what the hell it is your time. Minnesota, it's 1:00. London, it's 8:00. Well, we're going to have one of our friends on who is the River Cruise Queen, Janine Williamson, who was on the second sailing of the Virtuoso. So she might have a different perspective than Martin had from the first sailing that he was on, the same one that Pete was on. Martin and his better half were on the first sailing, And we'll get some feelings from Janine about her thoughts on the Virtuoso and on MSC and on things in the future and all sorts of other things. It'll be Sunday. And of course, I'll be there and acting very straightforward as I always do. And of course, John will be silly as he usually is. Maybe I got that backwards. But anyway, that'll be Sunday at 2 o'clock my time. So make sure you put that on your calendar and join us. And unless you start your Memorial Day weekend celebration early and you can't find your computer. So that's basically it on my 2020 travel year in review. It started off great. It ended in the dump. But 2021 is going to be better. I promise you. Hopefully before this year is out, I'll take some kind of a trip someplace. We'll see. More on that in the future. That's it for today, folks. Glad you. Oh, I've got to check on the comments. Sorry. Over in the chat room. Yeah, Katie's with us. Gretchen's with us. Conchita's with us. Hi, y'all. Good to see all of you. Everybody saying good morning. Great to see you. Good morning to all of you guys. Thanks so much for being here. I just wanted to cover a little bit of everything in case anybody cares. So I still don't know how I'm going to do the travel and news show yet as far as my schedule goes. 11 o'clock seems to be the overwhelming thought. Oh, there's Nikki too. Hi, Nikki. Nikki's down there in Florida where that governor is that's trying to stop cruises. At least he's trying to stop cruises from saying you got to be vaccinated. But anyway, who knows? Probably I'm going to do the news show at 11 o'clock. Am I going to do it every day? Am I going to do it Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday? I haven't decided on that yet. I haven't decided totally on doing like one news story and talk about it and chat room and so forth, or do multiple stories like I used to do. I don't know. I have no idea. We'll figure that out as we go in the future as well. So anyway, guys, that's it for me today. I will see you Sunday from the Cruise Amigos. And but in between time, if anything major happens in the world. That's it for now. We'll talk to you soon. Later, y'all. I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.